When we are loving, we openly and honestly express care, affection, responsibility, respect, commitment, and trust. Bell hooks. The theme for this month here on this channel is talking all about love. And the reason for that is I'm reading the book All About Love. This is a book by bell hooks. If you haven't read it, check it out. I'm only a few chapters in, but I have already learned so much. Hi, welcome. If you're new to this channel, I'm Lauren Messina. I talk about all things dance related. I'm a parent artist. I am an MFA in dance graduate, and I help dancers find support and collaboration in an inclusive environment to thrive. And I do that on the school platform in a group called Dance Hub. Check it out in the description, and I hope you'll join us. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you for coming, and I hope that you will take a second to like this video if you like it by the end. The plan is that I'm going to head into the forest and I'm going to dance a little bit. I'm going to create some movement affirmation videos for this month, and I'll share those on a playlist here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I found when I'm reading All About Love. Okay. Here we go. So what I found was most interesting about this book was how bell hooks talks about love as something that we should and can define. And when I was looking into the topic of self-love related to dancers, I found a lot of information about love in terms of romantic partnerships in dance, and love in terms of finding more self-love through the act of dancing. But I didn't feel like that was it for us. Like, that can't be the only way that we talk about love in dance. Finding love as you express it through dance. I felt like love was a big part of connection. And if you checked out this last video about connection in dance, it was one topic that many people have been interested in learning a little bit more about, talking a little bit more about, and seeing where we can build community by finding connections with others and ourselves. And I feel like love is a huge part of that. I feel like we find ourselves belonging in places when we feel love. And I had never thought about how important it is to define the terms until I started reading this book. In the very beginning of the book, Hooks talks about a definition of love that is from Scott Peck, I believe, and that definition describes love in a way that leads Hooks to share 6 ingredients. So I guess I should have started by saying, maybe I'll edit this into the intro, but in this video I'm going to share 6 ingredients to create more loving relationships with ourselves and with others. And I think that we can do this in our dance communities as well. And I look forward to finding ways to make that happen. So the first of these ingredients, I don't think they're in any particular order, but Hooks shares these 6 ingredients that I talked about in the quote. The ingredients are respect and trust, care and affection, commitment, and responsibility. I think I got all 6. So in my experience, these 6 things come together to make more loving relationships, and they really, really matter. Certain ones I felt more in like familial relationships, and others I felt more in like academic environments. But some of these things I feel like when I found them missing in the dance communities that I've been a part of through life, then things just feel a little bit off. And I never really noticed that that's what was missing. For me, I think I lean toward environments that feel full of respect, trust, and care. And I've even written that before in a statement to myself, and as a statement of the environments that I wanted to create. I wanted to co-create dance community spaces that felt mutually respectful, full of trust, and full of care for all the participants. I did not consider how responsibility and affection and commitment come into play. So this month, I'm going to be talking about each of those topics in a little bit more detail, but I wanted to start here by talking about the importance of defining our language. When we understand a shared definition of love, then we all know that we're talking about the same thing. We all know that we're describing not just a feeling, but the way that we treat one another. And it's taken me several years to come to the understanding of not just a golden or silver rule, but a platinum rule of caring for and loving people and treating them not just the way that you want to be treated, but the way that they actually want to be treated. And knowing that's different for everyone. And we'll only learn that by learning to understand people better, by developing deeper connections, by talking, by listening. And I think that these 6 ingredients are a part of the bigger landscape to help us develop these kinds of relationships, and especially in the dance community, in a place that we are working together to do not just a sport and not just an art. We are moving our bodies through space and time together with people near us and working together toward one common goal, to build something if it's choreographic, to partner together in movement if it's contact, improvisation oriented. We're always moving in and through space and time together, and I think dance develops this listening ear for us. And having a shared definition only makes sense to further what we can do together. If we're all on the same page, then we can move forward with a little bit more ease. And I think we're all looking to have a little bit more ease in community. All right, 6 ingredients. My experience. Skip that. Why this really matters. Connection in dance. I shared the video about connection in dance. But my experience, I talked a little bit about, has been leaning toward the importance of respect and trust and care. And when I felt those things were missing, the environment just felt off for me. Also in my experience, and I've been in a lot of different places, in dance studios, in college, university settings, in dance company settings, in residency settings, in choreographing, teaching, working as a student, just all of these different parts of dance that you've probably been there too if you're a dancer. I think that starting from a place of love and having the language to define it will break down a lot of barriers in communication that often come up in these different groups. In my experience, I felt a lack of respect, a lack of feeling affirmed by the people around me, or even just recognized at times. I felt a lack of trust, a lack of myself being able to trust the people that I'm with, the environment that I'm in, to know that it's safe to let my guard down and be vulnerable. Not always, but these are just problems that can be solved, I think, with this shared definition, knowing that love includes all these things. And when one isn't there, it's not love. And then lastly, I've been in environments before where I felt a lack of care, and it puts a heavy load on you. It puts a feeling of, just with trust and respect and all the others, if you are in an environment that's lacking one of these things, it often feels unsafe to be yourself, your authentic, ideal self. It feels unsafe to let your guard down. And dance, we know we need that to express ourselves fully, to go the distance in like our physicality and our self-expression and our artistry. We need to be able to let our guard down a little bit and show ourselves, to show up, whether it's in character as someone else or whether it's ourself on stage that we're bringing. We need a sense of belonging in the space, safety to trust. And without care, there's a huge burden. And I think for me in the past, an anxiety of feeling that If this isn't a space that I know that I am being cared for, then that responsibility falls on me. And of course, I'm going to take responsibility to care for myself, but it often always feels a lot better knowing that there's just these guidelines are set, and we know coming in that this is where we're starting, this is the standard, this is what I can expect, this is what I can lean on. You just feel like you're on solid ground. Okay, so this month I'm going to be sharing some podcast episodes breaking down these specific topics, or at least that's the plan. Some affirmations that have movement practices connected to them if this is something that you're wanting to develop more self-care, self-love, self-trust, feeling these things in yourself before then giving them out to others, sharing them with others, and creating spaces that feel like this. I think doing a daily movement practice can be really helpful. All right, quick regroup here. This is a great time to subscribe. This is also a really great time to leave a comment while I'm looking for this. I'm not going to edit this space out either, because, if you click off, you're just missing out on whatever happens next. But, all right. Come on. So many notes in here. There we go. Okay. So this was the section. Yeah, M. Scott Peck's definition in 1978, The Road Less Traveled, echoes the work of Erich Fromm. And Peck says, Peck says, the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. That is the definition of love. And further, love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both an intention and an action. Can I just stop and say, I know, we know that we've been in spaces where we felt love as an intention, but not necessarily love as an action. And I think that's sometimes where we drop the ball. I know I have. It's easy to say in words that I'm going to do this, and this. I'm going to care for you in this way. I'm going to respect you and trust in this way. I'm going to be responsible for you and committed to you and affectionate toward you. But then not actually act on those things. And sometimes that's even worse than just not acting on them or saying anything. It gives us this feeling that we're going into a space where we feel as if we can expect one thing and we receive another. And I know for sure I want to do better in my relationships at just being honest, like radical candor, being open. This is really what I'm going to give. Moving on. Will also implies choice. We do not have to love, we choose to love. And when we make that choice, we need to remember that choosing to love the people we're around, saying that we will be loving toward them, setting them up with the sense that they can expect a loving environment, we have to act on it as well. Okay. And lastly, when we are loving, this is bell hooks. Quote, when we are loving, we openly and honestly express care, affection, responsibility, respect, commitment, and trust. Openly and honestly expressing these things. So, if you've been in a dance environment where you experienced all 6 of these ingredients, or if you've been in a relationship where you've experienced all of these ingredients, that could be like you've experienced that in your neighborhood. That could be you experienced this in just your family generations through the years. That'd be wonderful. If you've been in a community or a place where you've experienced all 6 of these ingredients, we would love to hear about it in the comments. I've been in a lot of spaces where I felt many of them and not all, and I want to continue to strive to co-create spaces where people can feel love and they can feel all 6 of these things. I don't know about you, but dance studios, colleges, performing spaces, every space that we create in and that we expect to come into feeling loved and cared for, care is a part of love. Now I know they're all lumped in. It'd just be great to see those expectations being met. And I think a lot of people are doing work to make spaces like this better and more fulfilling. Hold up. But we also have a long way to go. So I plan to continue talking about this, to continue learning about these topics, and to break them down even further. I want to hear from you. How would you break down all 6 of these topics? And what would you share about each one? What is the most important thing that you could share about respect, about care, affection, trust, responsibility, and commitment, all as part of a larger definition of love? All right? If you haven't subscribed yet, maybe do it now. And if you're a dancer, please join us inside the school community called Dance Hub. It's linked in the description below. Okay, until next time.